if you're in this position and they know what they're doing, even if you do things right, you're still kind of screwed. You're in a bad position. I like to control my collar, but you do want to control something, whether it's your bicep or your collar. If you're holding your bicep and your elbow's bent, it accomplishes the same thing that I'm going to talk about. In order for him to finish the armbar, he needs to hyperextend my elbow. In order for him to do that, he needs to straighten my elbow. And right now, if my elbow is bent at a right angle, he almost has to pull up before he can start pulling backwards, which makes it difficult for him to put pressure on it. I know if I'm holding my collar that he can only pull against my elbow. So if he's pulling straight back, he's actually not putting any pressure to straighten my arm. That's usually when he starts sliding up and attacking the wrist. Yeah, things like that. If he can put a bend in the wrist, then he can break the grip. And once my elbow's past that 90 degrees, that's when I'm in danger of him really attacking the armbar. I'm always looking to hold on to this, and it helps to defend a little bit, but mostly grabbing my collar lets me know that my arm's in a position where it's difficult for him to straighten it. Once I grab, I turn my pinky up. If my palm is down, it's really easy for him to slide his forearm under, bend it, and break the grip. I turn my pinky up, and now if he slides to my wrist, it's a stronger position. That one I usually grab there, and then I usually try to defend my wrist the best I can with my other arm. I'm kind of covering my other wrist with my arm, and I'm going to grab his pant leg here. What I want to do is I want to get his leg off of my head. I will use my legs to kind of kick like I'm going to stack it. So as I kick here, his leg starts to come off the ground. And that's usually, as I go bring my head back down, that's usually when I shove the leg off my head. As soon as I get it over my head, I'm going to pull it behind with the grip on the pants. If I just hang out here and try to escape here, he'll eventually bring his leg back over my head. So what I need to do is I need to bury his leg underneath my back. The way I do that is I drive off my toes and get my shoulder blades to the other side of his leg. I want to turn into him if I can. Now, when they tried to turn in, they would sit up. The minute I sit up, he can bring his leg back over and push me back down. So he can't bring the leg over my head here. So I want to be driving off my toes. Now, I still have my lapel. With this bridge, I want to bring my elbow to his hip. So I'm going to turn here, elbow to his hip. Once it's there, now I can start sitting up. This arm is going to come across his hip. This is what's going to stop him from coming on top to mount. So if my elbow's on the mat, try to come on top. That elbow on the mat and this arm across his hips is going to be enough. Now I can turn on my knees and turn it and face him. If I end up in the armbar position, I'm defending by grabbing my collar, covering my wrist the best I can, and grabbing pants at the knee. I'm going to kick up, bring it up and over. Once it's behind my head, I can't hang out here too long. I got to drive, shoulder blades to the mat, and keep driving in until I get my elbow on the mat. Once my elbow's on the mat, this arm's going to come across the hip, and I'm going to turn to my knees. On this escape, once I get to the point where I kind of bury their leg behind my back, they're going to try to go to mount. And again, that driving into that bridge position is what's going to help me. Again, boom, here, right here. If I relax my bridge, it makes it actually easier for him to mount. If I bridge here, go ahead. Over the leg here. So I had a lot of people relax here, and then the other person's just able to come, and then they try to turn, and this is fine too. This would be your last ditch effort here. You turn away, but now he's also in a position where my back is exposed. I mean, even if he can't get mount, he could step that one behind me, boom, and he could start working to, that, or like a seatbelt position here. The bridge, and he tries to get to mount. he has to come all the way up and over. All I have to do is just kind of use my hand to guide his leg between my legs to get half guard. And once they're in half guard, then turn into him rather than ending up having to turn away from him.